Driving faster in my car. We're falling farther just from what we are. These conversations kill. Driving faster in my car. Hello once again, guys. It's Will. That song is Big Empty by the Stone Temple Pilots. Just a little warmer upper for my voice. I tend to like many different forms of music, but mainly rock, I would say. Ever since I was a younger man, probably about 15, 16, I started listening to rock, starting with like Linkin Park and such, and that kind of molded my taste in music, honestly. And to be quite frank, I didn't really like music that much to begin with. Well, what I'd like to speak about today is the influence that music can cause on people, and it can definitely break them or make them and such. And within all that, you realize that there's just so many ways that the human being can be influenced, not just by society itself, but by art, media, television, and all that stuff. And we've seen that throughout the years with the implementation of technology and just how much of a close bond it's gotten to the human being. So close that I feel we're at the most social point where we're the most antisocial. As I believe many kids are being born basically with a cell phone on their hand, and well, their minds are consumed by that at a very early age. And this is why I guess you see autism and all this stuff, the climbing rates of it and such. But I also notice, like, especially with the newer children, such very, very smart children, they pick up on stuff very quickly compared to, I'm assuming, children from the past. But I guess that's just our quote unquote evolution of sorts. But I don't see this as a really good thing either because, for one, we're being very, very pushed far away from our nature as we can be now. We basically are far off from what the human originally was intended to be, and we probably won't even know what the original intention of the human being was to be, or would we able to be comprehending any of this stuff. Because in my personal opinion, and from research, everything's a lie in this life. Every single thing, even the way they brought you to enslavement and created all these quote unquote jobs in order to have us enslaved here. Now, I do believe this world is meant to make us sin and make the sinning normalized over time. That's why basically once we see something normal, it's like, oh, okay, nothing's wrong here. Nothing's wrong here. We can do it as long as they say it's okay. And this is what leads to like unconscious sinning in a way, because if you really think about it and you start thinking about these things, like, why are you following things society tells you? It's like a damn checklist that you have to complete, and at the end of the day, even if you complete said checklist, it's not going to make you happy. From my personal experience, me, I was a very bright kid when I was younger. I got good grades and such, and to me, I don't feel I reached my true potential. And this is a feeling, not a belief. There's a difference between feelings and beliefs. I believe I could become a way better person than I am right now, but it's just a matter of pushing myself to be this person. And this is why you see me talking on this YouTube channel, trying different forms of ways to reach people and talk to them, whether it be through a sort of depth of topics, reading a book, music, and such. And it's all art. It's all art to influence people, I believe, in a positive way, but I also reinforce that you think the words that I also mentioned, because there's a strong emphasis, is it your idea or is it somebody else's idea, which can get a little bit complicated there. Um, as for that, I believe this world, from when we're small, it tries to entice us to not be our best selves. We aren't taught how to handle money. We aren't taught to explode our potentials, our talents, and such. We were just taught the same thing: math, reading, and such. And yes, it's basically needed in order to communicate and function in society. But at the same time, it's a very basic functionality, you understand. And I was discussing this with a cousin of mine earlier. If we as human beings were brought up to know how to manage money, how to invest the money, how to spend it wisely and such, and not actually go by what's thrown in our faces, like by society telling us, you need this, you need that, and all these certain things to be happy. I hope you guys saw my cat, this Chester. And they don't truly make you happy. They don't. Honestly, it's a set life of living that we're just living here and just following these rules. But another idea that I discussed with another friend of mine was the idea of being too humble. I feel, and I'm saying this again, I feel, not believe, that I'm a humble person, but at the same time, that could also mean that I lack this ambition to push myself and be the best person I can be for the society. And it's not just me, trust me. There are many, many people on this world that have such fascinating talents, that have these incredible minds that are just held back because society doesn't look at them in a certain way, because they're not typically what's seen in society. But think of the great minds like Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, and such. Some of these men came from nothing. And I know Tesla died penniless and such, and it's a little bit insane what some of these men have done for society, and yet sometimes they aren't even recognized for it. And there's more to life than monetary value. I guess it's definitely the impact that you leave behind. Because to me, hey, how much money is necessary to live? How much would you be comfortable saying, hey, I'm okay with this? And there's different ideas towards that, especially if you want to get into a partnership or a relationship with somebody, because we know all the dating dynamics and such. Everybody wants the best deal they can get, but without investing too much of their time and energy. But at the same time, if you're not investing either one of those, then you're not going to get the best of the best from the person. Sometimes maybe even the most simple option could be the best option, because if you see potential in such a person and you push them to be a better person, and you realize this and you actually appreciate them for who they are instead of what they resemble to society, or what's the outer that's given to them, but you recognize that the inner is pure, and there's so much in the inner that can come out and release the outer and make the outer more impactful. And that, I believe, is what would be my situation. I like rapping, I like singing, I like writing, I like reading and all such, and these are things that basically use my voice, and these are things that I hope one day to keep pushing further. I know I'm 36 right now, and to me, it's never too late. I may not look 36, and that's okay. But I'm sure many people go through struggles, probably never reaching their full potential, and just a simple imagination, and always in this dreamland of what could have been, when the reality could be right now, as if what could be. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to one of these random rambles once again. My name is Will, and thank you for your time. Au revoir.